G'day folks, Conor here, back with another video. Today we're having a look at the feiyutech Pocket 3. Now this was sent to me 2 months ago by feiyutech to review, and I've just been so busy I didn't get around to it. It looks familiar to the feiyutech Pocket 2, I guess, and some other devices on the market, and that's to be no surprise when it comes to this form factor. I must say though, there's some similarities, but there's some big differences here with the feiyutech Pocket 3 and some of the others on the market. Here is the feiyutech Pocket 3, which looks pretty stock standard to what we've seen in other devices, except this actually comes off. And this can be put on top of your car. It has a magnet on it. It has a strap section, so you can put a strap on it and tie it to your wrist or to your helmet, something like that. And you're always going to have that gimbal stable footage as opposed to just having to hold it in your hand or put it down on a tripod, because I definitely think that that makes this unique. Now there's a lot of other features here which I'm going to go through and show you some sample footage and stuff like that. Now I quickly just wanted to jump in here and say the main reason the video is being done now is because it has some pretty good discounts on the current pricing, and if you do use my link down below you can get an extra 15% off. So help a brother out, use my links and pick up yourself a nice feiyutech Pocket 3, because it does do a pretty good job at filming content. And the content most likely to be using this for would be like just solo vlogging, maybe some family trips, travel definitely, and some of us content creators are definitely going to find some value in this for the price. There are some others on the market that are a lot more expensive, and I mean like almost double the price. So definitely feiyutech Pocket 3 has got some good value here. Now, for the key features I want to mention in the design of it is that it is compact and lightweight, especially when you remove the head off the top. This is really compact, really lightweight. And you can see on their website some examples of how they were using it. For me, it's going to be like maybe on the car or maybe handheld or maybe put down on a flat surface somewhere to get through a bit of a time lapse or something like that. But there is many use case scenarios because it is so small and portable. Now for the camera capabilities, we have got some pretty good specs here. So we are talking 4K up to 60 frames per second. Me being in Australia, I shoot in 4K 50 frames per second at max. And then normally I'm shooting at 4K 25, sometimes even 1080p 25, depending on how important it is that I have that quality. So plenty of good specs there when it comes to the image quality. Now it does have very wide angle view as well, up to 130 degrees. I tend to have it in the medium. So there's a super wide angle mode, there's a wide angle mode, and then there's a narrow mode. Now it does also have an improved sensor over the previous model. Not that I own the previous model, but it's always nice to get a better sensor and a bigger sensor, and you're starting to creep up here and get some good sensor size, especially for this type of device. So I'm pretty impressed with what I'm getting out of it. Now the image quality, I couldn't get a bit rate out of it, so it was a 10-bit or anything like that. You just got to get the image as good as you can in camera before you have to start editing it, because you can't do too much here, like with most devices on a small sensor. Now it does have Feiyu log, which is, you know, for Canon it's C log, for Sony it's S log, but for feiyutech it's Feiyu log. So it does have that option there in Pro mode. However, I didn't use Pro mode because it wasn't very flexible in sort of, I think the automatic mode just gave a better image out of camera. So if you don't want to stuff around too much, use auto mode or not Pro mode and you'll get a pretty good image. And you can also take 12 megapixel photos with this. Now they are going to be very wide photos, but sometimes you want a wide angle photo. So for those instances, this will do good. Now the gimbal on something like this, it makes the footage steady. So whether you're in pan mode, follow mode, or all follow mode, it doesn't really matter. You still have a gimbal here that is keeping your stabilization stabilized. Whereas if you use a normal camera, you don't get that stabilization. So that is the key feature here for me, is that you have that 3-axis stabilization, which is important to remember. Now for the most part, you're going to use 3 to 4 different modes here. The first one is, I'm always going to have it in selfie mode. See there, you've got the display on the front, the camera facing you, so you're going to be walking along doing your vlogging just like this, and the camera's facing you, you can see yourself there in the display. Now, there is pan mode. And pan mode is where it just holds the horizon nicely. Now, this isn't always the best for vlogging. I think follow mode is the best for vlogging, but panning mode is good for like panning when you're following a subject, whether it be a person or a car or someone on a bicycle or some sort of vehicle, plane, whatever. You want to be in pan mode for that. Keeps the horizon nice and steady. But when you're in pan mode, you can move the gimbal like this. It's still going to keep the horizon. Same if you tilt forwards or backwards, the camera is going to just stay level. However, for vlogging, I really like to use what's called follow mode. So the camera will follow the handle when you're in follow mode. So if I go like this, it's going to follow the handle and the way the handle is facing, just like so. And so if I go like this, it's going to point down. If I go like this, it's going to point up. And you're always going to get it following you. So that for me is best for vlogging mode. So if you're vlogging and you're in a crowd, you want to get your hand up nice and high, it's still going to maintain a good field of view on you as you're vlogging like this. Or if you want to go down low, it's going to do the same thing. But it still holds the axis for the roll. So when you go like this, it still keeps it steady and level, just like that. And that's where, in my opinion, all follow mode comes in. So all follow mode keeps everything from follow mode, except it also, when you tilt like this, the camera tilts as well. So you can go from shooting vertical like this for you TikTokers, or back to like this for you old school YouTubers like me. But you can also just give it that field of point of view, sort of personal feeling to it for if you're vlogging. So if you're like walking like this, it's going to adjust and go with the handle. And that is going to look pretty cool. It's going to look very unique. For me, not the best for vlogging, but definitely the best for a certain type of look. So for me, it's really important to understand the correct time to use the correct mode. And at all times, as I said earlier, when you're in those modes, you are still maintaining the features of a 3-axis gimbal. And that is the main point of using one of these. You have a look at, say, like a Canon R50 or anything in the camera range around that $1,000 to $1,500 price point, the stabilization is often really bad. But you get a much nicer looking image while you're on a tripod or on a gimbal or something like that, where this gets rid of all that. It's nice and light too. You just throw it in a bag and off you go, and you can record. Now it does also come with this tripod, which is pretty cool. You can put it down, you can set up a time lapse or a motion lapse, so the camera goes from this point to this point over a 5-minute span of time, and also takes lots of photos and creates a time lapse that is moving. That's called a motion lapse. Then you can just do your standard time lapse, and you can also do hyperlapse, so you can put it on your car, go for a drive, and you're going to get a nice hyperlapse as well. Now it does also have AI tracking as well, and that's just really, it just locks onto your face and tracks you. So as you're moving, it'll track your face so you don't really come out of the frame. Most of the time it seems to work okay. Just don't move too fast and it will do the trick. Now you do have that wireless image transmission as well. So when you take this part off and stick it on your car, you can still see on this display what you're actually viewing through the camera and the lens itself. So that's really handy. So you can put it on the car, make sure your image is correct, move your joystick around to point the camera where you want to point it, press record, and you can see what you're getting straight through the display here. So I really love that. Now the battery is not removable in both pieces of kit. This one and this one, the battery is not removable. So you will want to have like a power bank lying around if you're going for a long day trip, or have some sort of car charging solutions going on, because they're non-replaceable. I would like to see them replaceable so you can just replace the batteries as required, but I can understand why they didn't. They're keeping the price down, form factor down. Now it does also have what they call breakpoint shooting, so you can just pause the recording and press record again, and it's not a new clip. It actually just picks up from where it left off, which I do like. I see that in smartphones, but not necessarily in your high-end cameras. So to have breakpoint video recording here is a good little addition as well. Now it does have the feiyutech app as well, so you can log in and change some settings and stuff like that and view your image as well. But I find when you have this, there's no real need for that, but it is there as well, some cool features in the app as well. It's made of plastic for the most part, and it is not weather sealed, so you will need to take care of it. It's not an action camera. Now it does also come with a base plate and a strap, like I said, so you can strap it to your wrist or your helmet or your bike or something like that as well. And it's got the magnet, so you can take advantage of anything metal lying around that you might want to attach the base plate to, which is this part, and you'll get some unique footage that way as well. And it does also come with a hood or a cover that goes over the tripod or over the gimbal to keep it safe when you're traveling. So they have thought through everything here. On the camera here itself, you do have a mode button, an on-off button, and a record button. So 3 simple features there. Then on the handle, you have a mode button, a record button, an on-off button, a joystick, and also the zoom in and out feature as well. And then your display is a touch display, so you can go into your settings, change everything you want to that you can think of in there. I really think there's a pretty good menu setup in there. You know, you can change from 4K to 1080p, you can change from photo to video, you know, all just through a quick few swipes up, down, left or right. So they have thought that as well. I think it's pretty basic to use, pretty simple. I think when you get it and turn it on, you're going to be recording within about 5 minutes. You're going to be pretty comfortable with the feiyutech Pocket 3. That's everything I want to say about the feiyutech Pocket 3. Thanks everyone for watching. If you do want to buy this, links down below. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments down below. If you like this video, just hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, that would be much appreciated. I'll have more camera gear coming all the time on this channel. Phones, headphones, all that sort of thing. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.